My name is Femi Johnson and thanks for joining us. The Ministry of Petroleum Resources has been tasked to do whatever it takes to maximize the potentials and opportunities in the oil and gas industry so as to stimulate the nation's economy in spite of the current challenges. President Muhammadu Buhari, who trailed the challenge at the public presentation of the Petroleum Industry Roadmap, described the oil and gas sector as a national imperative and core thrust of Nigeria's economic policy. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
The Petroleum Industry Roadmap, codenamed the 7 Big Wins, outlines the short and medium-term priorities towards growing Nigeria's oil and gas industry from 2015 to 2019. It is aimed at, among others, improving security and safety in the oil-producing areas, passage of the Petroleum Industry Reform Bill, efficiency and transparency in the operations of the industry, investment drive that will accelerate income for Nigeria, as well as make the country a net exporter of petroleum products by 2019. President Muhammadu Buhari said in spite of the prevailing challenges, petroleum industry remains critical to the Nigerian economy of today and the future.
This roadmap reflects vision and the aspiration of this administration for this sector, and I urge you all to deliver on the expectations contained in the petroleum industry roadmap as we seek to consolidate change in this very important sector of our national economy.
The president said the golden era of high oil prices may not be here now, but oil and gas resources still remains the most immediate and practical keys out of Nigeria's present economic crisis. The federal government's commitment to supporting the growth of agriculture, solid minerals, and other critical sectors of the economy notwithstanding, virile and efficient oil and gas industry, President Buhari maintained, remains a critical enabler for not only the successful budget implementation, but also in laying a strong foundation for a more diversified economy.
There is also a dire need to instill a new culture of transparency and efficiency in the industry, streamline operations along best practices by championing and implementing strategic reforms at every layer of the industry. This will help us improve oil and gas production, explore our frontier basins, improve our local refining capacity, and above all, build sustainable partnership with the oil-producing communities.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, said the era of lamentation is over. Now is the time for positive actions that will take the petroleum industry forward and maximize its potentials and contributions to the nation's economy.
Niger Delta and security is key. On Tuesday, the President will be having a meeting with the stakeholders of the Niger Delta and oil-producing areas. That is how important, what importance he attaches to this. And for refineries, our job is well cut out for us. We must achieve 100% local refining capacity by 2020. And by 2019, our hope is that we will have stopped importation of petroleum products. And I'm going to be working with NNPC collaboratively and very aggressively on this.
The roadmap, the minister said, also provides a work plan that will ramp up national crude oil production to a target of about 3 million barrels per day and contributing positively in the area of gas to power. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In another development, the Nigerian Army is to collaborate with the new Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, empowerment of families of the Nigerian Army personnel through the Barrack Investment Initiative Program. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, said this when he hosted a delegation from Nepal led by its national coordinator, Princess Gloria Kobundu, in Abuja. The Barrack Investment Initiative Program, the Army Chief noted, was designed to engage widows of fallen heroes of the Nigerian Army and also the youths in the barracks on agriculture, fisheries, and poultry to empower them in order to support their families. The leader of the delegation and national coordinator, NEPAD, Princess Gloria Kobundu, commended the Nigerian Armed Forces for the successes recorded so far in the fight against Boko Haram in the northeast and militancy in the Niger Delta region. The Federal Capital Territory Administration says it will complete the ongoing multi-million naira Abuja Millennium Development Goal Water Project, as well as other moribund projects of the defunct Millennium Development Goals in the satellite towns of the territory. The minister stated this when the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals at Dijoke Orelokwe Adefulure paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. Let's join Mitari for that report.
As the 17 Sustainable Development Goals seek to build on the achievements of the now defunct Millennium Development Goals, the FCT minister says providing potable water and a clean environment for residents of the satellite towns of the FCT remain priorities of his administration.
I visited Abuja, I saw the tank was constructed. So on paper, it will appear as if the project is completed. In fact, statistics given shows that 97.73 has been completed. But obviously on ground, we know it's not so. But you can be rest assured that we will partner with you and have this project completed.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, Adejoke Orelokwe Adefulire, said the speedy completion of the Abuja Water Project will go a long way in addressing waterborne diseases in the area.
The essence of the project is for them to benefit, and if it's not completed, I don't see any benefit. We have also decided as a government to mainstream and domesticate SDG into our national planning.
She said the federal government is committed to meet the targets of the SDGs by the 2030 deadline. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
As part of efforts towards combating criminal activities along the nation's territorial waters, the Nigerian Navy says it has identified 37 creeks within the Niger Delta region for continuous surveillance. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibot Ibas stated this in Calabar after the inspection of naval facilities within the Eastern Naval Command headquarters. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma reports.
Vice Admiral Ibok Iteibas said already the Eastern Naval Command has started mounting checks at the identified flashpoints to checkmate criminal activities within the creeks. He commended the Eastern Naval Command for the maintenance of naval equipment and facilities despite its meager resources, while assuring Navy's commitment to fighting crime.
We have over 6,000 creeks, rivers, in the Niger Delta, generally in the south, then Nigeria, over 6,000. But we've been able to identify about 37 of them that could be navigable, that criminal elements use for their transit. It is those 37 that we have made plans to man by emplacing houseboats to serve, as a check to the activities of these criminals.
While in Cross River State, Vice Admiral Ibokite Ibas inaugurated a boys' hostel at the Nigerian Navy Secondary School, Akpabuyo, and a fully furnished 9-classroom block donated by the Flag Officer Commanding Eastern Naval Command, Rear Admiral James Oluwole. He also inspected some ongoing projects at the Attenborough Naval Staff Quarters as well as the Navy Reference Hospital. Before leaving Calabar, the Chief of Naval Staff had a chat with the officers and ratings of the command. Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government says it is also committed to improving the lives of its citizens, especially in providing affordable housing. The Executive Secretary, Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board, Hannatu Fika, stated this when members of the housing units of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps paid her a visit in Abuja. At Debola Brooklyn Sunday reports.
I know the agency, the loans board, is not meant only for Nigerian security and civil defense. There are other contending agencies and civil servants in the country. But we are appealing to your kind gesture, Hajia, to please review our officers and men for benefiting more in the program.
For those who are interested in having houses.
Responding to the plea of the Commandant Housing of the Corps, Hannatu Fika says it has and will always be the dream of everyone to have a house of his own, adding that the welfare of Nigerians is a priority of the present administration.
And our role in that, under the office of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, is to facilitate SEM for federal public servants who apply to us and indicate interest in owning one of the 1,000 houses will be given a house, and then the cost of this house will be deducted as source.
Mrs. Fika says the board has concluded arrangement to build another 1,000 houses in Wasa district under the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Scheme, FISH, which will be delivered at the end of 2017. Adebola, Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
We now join our Lagos Network Center for stories making rounds from that end. Let's join Vera now. Vera, it's over to you.
Thank you, Femi. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. 4 suspects arrested in connection with the kidnap of Oniba of Ibaland, Obayishwa Goriola Useni, have been arraigned before Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo of the Lagos High Court in Iboshere, Lagos.
The suspects, who allegedly carried out the crime on July 16, 2016, at the palace of the monarch, were said to have murdered a security detail attached to the palace, Sunday Eniola Okonlao, and the commercial motorcycle rider Joseph Okeke. After the charges were read to them, they all pleaded not guilty, while the Attorney General urged the court to remand them in prison pending trial. While answering questions from journalists at the end of the proceedings in court, the Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Adeniji Kazeem, said the arrest and commencement of prosecution of the accused persons in record time of less than 60 days was a clear signal of the readiness of Governor Akinwumi Ambodi's administration to rid the state of all forms of criminality.
This government is fully up to its task. It also sends a very strong message to the criminals out there, kidnappers, cultists, rapists, that no matter how long it takes, justice will be swift and decisive.
Justice Taiwo, in a brief ruling, remanded the accused in prison and adjourned the matter to November 4th, 11th and 18th, 2016 for trial. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambodi, his counterparts from Oyo and Osun states, Senator Abiola Ajimobi and Rauf Areboshala, have called for the strengthening of the family in order for the nation to make meaningful progress. The governors made a call at the opening ceremony of the 16th National Women Conference organized by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials in Lagos. Nusa Osula reports.
The state governors, as much as the family is the reflection of the society, government at all levels must give priorities to issues as it affects women, who are the bedrock of the family, and must also ensure they are empowered to flourish in their career and the home front.
With strong families, we can build a strong nation. But strong families will only exist in a society where nobody is left behind.
To put the nation in order, we must first put the family in order. States reflect community, and the nation, agglomeration of all, is usually the reflection of the community, and the community reflects the family.
Declaring the conference open, wife of the president, Hajia Aishat Buhari, said that Council has emerged as one of the many things that has put Lagos in the unique class of excellence.
We must continue to emphasize the importance of strong family values. Poverty, crime, and declining school performance are some of the challenges a country could face when families are not cohesive.
Most of the social challenges currently confronting our country have their foundation in dysfunctional family units. To build a strong and vibrant country, Therefore, we must go back and build strong family units.
Highlight of the event was the presentation of the Inspirational Woman of the Year award to Tara Fela Durotoye and the investiture of Senator Oluremi Tinubu as the Grand Matron of Council in Lagos, Nusa, Osula, NTA News.
Catholic bishops from African continents are in Nigeria to deliberate on strategies for further propagate the salvation of mankind. The clergymen who are meeting at St. Leo's Catholic Church in Ikeja, Lagos, are expected to produce a communique at the end of the three-day meeting.
The Pan-African Congress on Missiology, with the theme 50 Years of Adgentees, Fruits of Missions in Africa, Hope for the Future, is to re-strategize on how to ensure that gospel is spread to the end of earth. The president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, Archbishop of Jos, Most Reverend Ignatius Kaigama, asked the priests to be ambassadors of the church by consistently working for the Lord.
And how to get to people at the grassroots, so that they will get to know the real message of salvation, the message of our Lord Jesus Christ. This can transform hearts, bring about conversion, and also bring about transformation in the society.
While celebrating the fruits of missionary efforts in Africa, the Catholic Archbishop of Lagos, Most Reverend Alfred Adewale Martins, said the church has experienced positive and witnessed dramatic changes in Africa.
This is a time that we can see more Africans becoming more prominent in the work of evangelization, both in Africa and beyond.
Professor Sandra Mazzolini of the Faculty of Missiology, Pontifical Urban University, Rome, said African churches operate on integral concept of evangelism, which involves every human being. The Congress was marked with a celebration of special mass officiated by the Papal Nuncio to Nigeria in the company of other bishops.
At the end of the day, we will be able to know exactly what is happening in different parts of Africa.
This is the first time the Pan-African Missiology Congress is holding in Nigeria. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And these are top stories from Lagos at this hour. It's back to you, Femi, for the rest of news.
Thank you, Vera. The FCT Minister, Mohammed Musa Bello, has reiterated his directive to herdsmen to move their cattle out of the Federal Capital Territory, stressing that such animals cannot cohabit with Abuja residents. This was when he met with members of the Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria FCT chapter in Abuja. Metari has details.
The menace of cattle grazing in Abuja's city center necessitated this 18th meeting with the cattle breeders. The FCT minister told the cattle breeders that the ugly trend of cows roaming Abuja and constituting nuisance in traffic will not be tolerated. He, however, announced that new grazing reserves, in addition to existing ones, have been mapped out towards addressing the problem.
I assure you, inshallah, with good cooperation with your organization, with the traditional and religious authorities within the territory, with the political class within the territory, and we, the government officials, we will get a solution to all these issues.
Chairman of the Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, FCT chapter, Yahaya Issa, said they will interface more with government towards peaceful coexistence.
We took it upon ourselves and made sure by now you don't see the cattle within the main city. Wherever Fulani are not living there, from that moment, I believe the director could confirm to that, and we are working toward that.
The minister said some of the cattle breeders will be co-opted into the FCT Task Force on Environment towards achieving desired results. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Our Rivers State government too is to establish an immunization of the children in the state against polio. Governor Nyesom Wike made this known while declaring open the 11th edition of the West African Project Fair of Rotary International, which was held in Port Harcourt. Ifeoma Mesa reports.
Governor Wike, represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Ipalibo Banigu,
said the task force, when inaugurated, will ensure that children between 0 and 5 years are given effective and adequate vaccination against polio. He described the activities of Rotary as humanitarian, geared towards alleviating the health challenges of the vulnerable groups in the society. He expressed the willingness of the state government to support the activities of Rotary International towards the elimination of polio in the country.
We should encourage you and commit to it too, financially and encourage you morally as well.
To extend our hands in friendship to join you as we address disease prevention and control, maternal and child health, water and sanitation, education and literacy, community and economic development, and ultimately our final goal.
Former Deputy Governor and Chairman Organizing Committee of the West African Project Fair, Gabriel Toby, enjoyed Rotarians from East and West Africa as well as United States of America to explore River State, which is the hub of hydrocarbon industry in the country, in Port Harcourt, Ifoma Omesa, NTA News.
And back to Abuja, where program producers of the Nigerian Television Authority have advocated more funding for organizing the annual Education Television Expo and other programs in the establishment. Adebola Brooks Sunday reports that they said this at a workshop, which one of the activities of the yearly expo.
Because it is convenient for you. Why? Because there is no resources.
The major topic of discourse is the need for increased funding for program production and follow-up on young inventors that distinguish themselves in the expo.
Champion agenda setting.
Bello Sule is one of the pioneer producers on the NTA.
From the year we started, we had children that have become friends to date. We also want children that are now bringing out the best in Nigeria's sense of technology and science to also bring it up and show the best and showcase Nigeria.
Follow-up of what these children have achieved is paramount, it's crucially important. Follow-up can be done locally. If the producers can get in touch, can do more features, human angle stories, and follow particularly the winners or any other one participant that excelled.
But I think what we can do creatively of our own is that producers must think out of the box and do what we call low-budget productions that would also resonate with the society, it will resonate with our target audience, and it will mean something to government.
The meeting also dwelled on proper scheduling, respect for broadcast code, and rich content suitable for all categories. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
And to judicial matters, where the newly unveiled National Judicial Policy by the National Judicial Council has been described as a step towards enhancing transparency and accountability in the judiciary. Discussants on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria say the initiative, if implemented, will go a long way in restoring confidence and efficiency in the judiciary. Omotola Mojola has more.
With a question mark on the integrity of some judges and other judicial officers, the new National Judicial Policy is described as apt. The document, which makes provisions for the independence of the judiciary, seeks to ensure that the actions or inactions of judicial officers conform with their oaths of office and the ethics of their professional callings. It further aims at curbing corruption and other unethical conducts. The guest said although the policy is coming at a time when some judges are accused of corruption, its implementation will help clean up the system.
So if you look at the policy properly, it addresses declining productivity. So the way it works is you are put on your toes by this policy. You must perform or you go home.
What?
As leaders, their conduct becomes exemplary. As public officials, they see public office as public trust.
Is what makes development happen. It is the cooking of the conscience of the individual that has the content of the values, what do and not to do.
Moment for Thought comes up tonight at 10:30 on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. And you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. This is the Nigerian Television Authority. You are watching NTA Nationwide from the network service. Let's also tell you that people in Gombe State, including information managers, have lauded the National Assembly for passing the bill. This will be coming after this time out. Stay with us.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
With an increasingly volatile economy, there has never been a more fitting time to own your space and carve out new opportunities. Join over 1,000 women at the 15th Women in Management, Business and Public Service WIMBIZ Annual Conference as we discuss the next frontier, new landscape, new possibilities. Topics include Beyond Parity, inspiring the next generation of female leaders, women in mining, unlocking the Nigerian mining opportunities, and the billion naira tourism industry, monetizing the beauty within, among other topics. Date is Thursday the 3rd and Friday the 4th of November 2016. And the venue, Echo Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. It starts at 8 a.m. prompt daily. To register, visit www.wimbizannualconference.com or call 0803-594-6249. WIMBIZ, 15 years of inspiring and empowering women.
Who are you and what is your predicament?
Please, I'm looking for Candy. Who is living here? In this compound?
Oh no, this is a premises. The compound is an amalgam of chemicals and there is no Candy living in this premises.
This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Funky Malam, Bimbo Akintola, Ime Bishop, Yomi Fash Lanso, MC for God.
Who was you? What was you found?
Auntie, I look at you. I going to look for my sister. I know you are poor.
Here. He was found the place. Call me. Okay?
Say somebody.
She's definitely not my sister.
Shut up!
Professor John Bull, fasten your seatbelts this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times. It's absolutely bombastic.
Over and out. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Marketing a service like television broadcast that is truly transient and subjective requires some degree of specialized knowledge and skills. Principles and Practice of Marketing is an intensive 4-week knowledge-sharing class that is geared towards television marketing, media buyers, corporate relation sets with some of the pure tools needed to maximize.
Sharp guy, how are you? What's your name? Akpos. America. Oh, Akpos, America.
Yeah.
One.
Love you too.
Wonderful wonder. Wonderful wonder.
Our latest edition of TV Guide is out. This edition of your favorite magazine will simply blow your mind. The package is loaded and our offering is quite illuminating. NTA has a new Director General, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, a tested and trusted professional, an old wine that keeps getting better with age. This is the new driver of the Dish to Switch over train. Get to know him more in TV Guide. And now, on our cover is one of Nigeria's finest comic actors, Afiz Oyetoro, aka Saka. Peep into his world and you will see how he is putting from glory to glory. The change agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari, we did an assessment so far. All our refreshing columns and incisive features are a collector's item and research materials. TV Guide, available on your newsstand and in all NTA stations nationwide. Also in our embassies in United Kingdom, USA, China, Ghana and Egypt. TV Guide, grab a copy and give one to a friend. TV Guide, still your indispensable companion.
We are still on to NTA Nationwide, and people in Gombe State, including information managers, have lauded the National Assembly for passing the bill seeking the establishment of the Northeast Development Commission. Correspondent Talatu Lamon has the report.
The bill for the establishment of Northeast Development Commission was initiated by the Senate in response to the large-scale destruction of infrastructure as well as loss of lives and property caused by the activities of the insurgents in the Northeast region. The commission, when established, will be tasked with the responsibility of rebuilding the region after years of destruction and coordination of all efforts towards promoting peace and socio-economic development in the affected areas. Stakeholders in the information and educational sectors in Gombe State noted that it is a...
Thank you, Femi. Good evening and welcome to Kaduna. The Minister of Defense, Mansour Mohammed Nang Ali, has tasked procurement officers in the ministry and military services to be guided by Public Procurement Act 2007 in the discharge of their duties, as the nation cannot afford wasteful expenditure through unguided procurement. The minister stated this during a capacity building workshop on public procurement in Kaduna. Ahmed Umar Kudang has the details.
We could not get that report from Kaduna, but we hope to get back as soon as it is rectified. Let's continue now from Abuja to ensure hitch-free and safe 2016 pilgrimage to Israel, Rome and Greece. The Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission has concluded plans to airlift intending pilgrims as it selects carriers. Ogwa Nyedibia has the details.
The signing of the Air Carriers Agreement is referred to as the high point of a process we started earlier in the year to ensure that intending Christian pilgrims get the best experience in every possible way.
Chairperson Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Monsurat Sumonu, reiterated government's position to ensure Nigerian citizens are accorded utmost respect and dignity in their spiritual quest.
We will not relent in doing our oversight functions properly.
Executives of the NCPC, while calling for support of the pilgrimage, especially through prayers, challenge intending pilgrims to take advantage of the opportunity.
It is entirely up to them to see that they mobilize, they sensitize their workforce and put this project in the highest possible place.
NCPC is committed that all the pilgrims that go to Jerusalem or any other part of the world, Greece and Italy, they return alive and in good health.
2 airlines, one foreign and the other indigenous, were adjudged suitable for the air charter execution. In Abuja, Ogwa Vivian Onyedibia, NTA News.
After a productive working life, retirement is next. They can only be complete when pensions and entitlements are paid on time and consistently. This keeps pensioners happy. Lydia Bassi reports that President Muhammadu Buhari has been commended by General Secretary, Nigerian Union of Pensioners, ACTUZAL, for payment of monthly arrears of paramilitary and military pensioners at the 3rd annual general meeting of the National Association of Retired Paramilitary Officers in Abuja. Over to Lydia.
33% arrears for a backlog of 42 months was paid. However, the police received only 3 months arrears. General Secretary, Nigeria Union of Pensioners, who was represented by the Assistant General Secretary, Ahmed Ghazali, enjoined President Buhari to do same for civil servant retirees. He said pensioners are national assets.
Payment of pension is a right, not a privilege. We will not relent in our struggle until and unless we see the last man is being paid his pension.
National President, National Association of Retired Paramilitary Officers, Dr. Olugbenga Oluyode, disclosed that the cooperation received from the current pension managers is encouraging.
I would like to solicit for your understanding, because we were all public servants, and to acknowledge that the disruptions in the management of that department inevitably led to the slow rate of resolving many of the outstanding issues.
Issues to be deliberated, among others, include welfare promoting ventures and post-service housing scheme. The association comprises retired officers of customs, immigration and prison services. Lydia Bassi, NTA News.
And just as we promised that we'll get back to Kaduna as soon as the report is ready. Zule is now ready and the report has been rectified. It's over to you now. Take it away.
Thank you, Femi, and thanks for rejoining us in Kaduna. The Minister of Defense, Mansour Mohammed Nang Ali, has tasked procurement officers in the ministry and military services to be guided by Public Procurement Act 2007 in the discharge of their duties, as the nation cannot afford wasteful expenditure through unguided procurement. The minister stated this during a capacity building workshop on public procurement in Kaduna. Ahmed Umar Kudan has the details.
The workshop provided an opportunity for the participants to acquire more knowledge and skills with a view to ensuring efficiency in public procurement in line with present administration's agenda of zero tolerance to corruption. Minister of Defense Mansour Nang Ali, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Anju Masheni, said considering the responsibility of the ministry on procurement of military equipment and hardware, among others, to combat terrorism, insurgency and militancy in the country, the workshop couldn't have come at a better time.
It is very important, particularly at this time of the country where we are facing a recession, that we do things that in the process of our procurement will ensure efficiency, we ensure transparency, we ensure value for money for our country.
He said the ministry is trying to avoid incidences where serving and retired officers are brought to account for procurements handled during their time.
And that is why this two-day workshop, to let those personnel involved know the kind of sanctions that have been provided in the Act, which may apply if we or any individual fails to abide by the Procurement Act.
Huda Meteden is the Director of Human Resources Management in the ministry.
Our gathering here for the 2 days workshop is no doubt part of the ministry's effort to build procurement capacity in the ministry and its brother status and agencies.
In Kaduna, Ahmed Umar Kodang, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Defense Headquarters says the concept of national security should go beyond the use of guns as a means of maintaining peace. The Acting Director of Information, Defense Headquarters, Brigadier General Rabi Abubakar, stated this when he paid a courtesy visit on the management of the Nigerian Television Authority, Kaduna Network Center. Indeyang and Yang completes this report.
The Nigerian military has been involved in various operations aimed at defending the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the country, especially in recent times in the fight against insurgency, a situation the acting director said the armed forces have successfully degraded the Boko Haram in the northeast in collaboration with other security agencies and the media. To this end, he solicited more support of the NTA towards ensuring national cohesion, decrying publications that are capable of threatening national security.
The pace of the operation should not just be left to the hands of
the armed forces again, the media and other stakeholders must come in to support the efforts of the armed forces.
Zonal Director, NTA Kaduna Network Center, Hadiza Abulawa, commended the resilience of the Nigerian military and assured them of more support and NTA's professionalism in the discharge of its responsibilities, which are guided by the NBC's Code of Conduct.
If you close your doors to the media, we don't understand you, we don't know what you are doing, you are not going to get what you want.
The zonal director further said the NTA is willing to reach out to military formations for collaborations to enhance their activities. In Kaduna, I am Indenyan and the Abuja, NTA News.
The primate of all Nigerian Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, has called on Nigerians to confront corruption and be the change agents that the country needs to prosper. He was speaking at the 6th National and International Ministers' Conference of the Deliverance and Healing Ministry of the Anglican Communion in Kaduna. Again, Indian and their Bangyang reports.
The conference drew participants from the 36 states of the Federation. In a keynote address, the primate Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, while speaking on the theme, the ministry gifts of the church, noted that the release of spiritual gifts to Christians is for the benefit of the church and community at large. The primate, who was represented by the Bishop of Damaturu, Right Reverend Abiodun Olusegun Ogunyemi, further emphasized the need for Nigerians to confront corruption.
A blind man cannot lead another blind man. The church itself must look inward, from the leadership to the least person in the church, to heal ourselves for all the corrupt practices in our church.
Also speaking at the event, the Bishop of Kaduna Diocese and patron DHM, Right Reverend Timothy Yahaya, said the church has a role to play to deliver the country from its present challenges.
We pray and we pray for our leaders so that God will control them to do the right thing. Number two, we have to teach. We have to teach a reorientation.
The National Coordinator, DHM, Nigeria, Frank Onunebi, and other speakers said the DHM plays a significant role in ensuring the stability of the church and families.
We want to open people's eyes to understand these spiritual things, to know that they can be freed from these forces of darkness.
They also called on Christians and other Nigerians to remain faithful as the ministry is open to all Nigerians. In Kaduna, I am Indenyan and the Abuja, NTA News.
That's it from here. We're back to Femi in Abuja for more in Nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you, Zule. Nigeria's relationship with China in the area of science, technology and innovation received a boost with the Ministry of Science and Technology, as well as entering partnership into some organizations for comprehensive transfer of technology in Nigeria. Part of the package is the training of young Nigerians in related technology to stay abreast of latest innovation in that sector. Science correspondent Kirian Umayo reports.
In a conversation with the leader of the Chinese delegation, Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Bonaya Onu, reiterated the need for Nigerians to make things themselves by engaging in practical production processes of technology value chain. He commended Chief Innocent Chukuma and his team for investing in technology.
At the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, we are ready, we are prepared to support this relationship in any way to enhance areas of operation.
We have a partner to manufacturing engineer in Nigeria. If the quantity we observe in Nigeria is enough.
It is expected that the Chinese firm will establish a base in Nigeria to facilitate the envisaged transfer of technology. Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Bonaya Onu also received the Nigerian Immunization Financing Task Team for Sustainable Vaccine Financing. The team has the task of reviving vaccine production in Nigeria.
As far as vaccines are concerned, we are determined in the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology to lead the way to ensure that we have local production.
Even the budget that has been laid by government, whether they are properly being disbursed, and if they are being disbursed, are they being disbursed at the appropriate time?
Nigeria was in the past known for vaccine production and export, but today the country spends over $100 million annually for the importation of vaccines. To resume vaccine production in Nigeria will ensure the availability of locally made vaccines for over 7 million children born in the country annually. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
And Benin is our last stop on Nationwide as we join Obehi in our Benin Network Center. Over to you.
Hello, Femi. Thank you very much for joining us in Benin. About 78 billion naira annually to the activities of cyber criminals whose major targets are financial institutions and government agencies. It is against this background that the Nigerian University Okada organized a conference on cybersecurity and the emerging African economy. Steve Lonai Wunkulu has details.
The cyber-related offenses, which include fraudulent financial transactions, child kidnapping, and the most recent entrant into the list of cyber crimes, which is terrorist attacks, tend to undermine the positive potentialities inherent in the use of cyberspace.
I believe that the outcome of this conference will go a long way in familiarizing, Nigerians to the threat that is surrounding them, but which many may not have thought of.
We are not only looking at the security implication, we also be looking at the economic benefit of employing the services of ICT and cyber technology, as the case may be.
The aggregate views of members of the university community at Okada is not only that it has broadened their horizon, but it will also enhance their capacities in the development of ICT sector of the economy. In Benin, Steve Lonai Nwakolo, NTA News.
Minister of State for Health, Dr. Osagi Hanire, says the federal government is working towards making Nigeria a destination for medical tourism. He was speaking on NTA Benin Current Affairs Program Issues. He said apart from improving the state of health facilities and training, a reorientation of personnel is ongoing.
Customer care, it's very important, which we are trying to put emphasis on, and also the concern about health workers going constantly on strike and threatening the healthcare delivery. That's a big concern for us. We hope that we're able to address it because sometimes when you know that or you fear that the hospital will be going on strike, you don't want to go there for treatment because you feel you might be abandoned. So the issue of labor unrest is something that really needs to be addressed, and we are making efforts in that direction.
And from Benin, we take global tidbits where right groups in Kenya demands probe over police assaults and killing. Let's join Talato Ezerike for details.
A Human Rights Watch has accused Kenya police of killing 1,200 persons in the last 5 years. The group is worried that only one police officer that has so far been convicted for unlawful killing in the last 3 years. From South Africa, the country's finance minister has declined comment on whether he was confident of the ruling party ANC's support in his alleged fraud saga that has rocked the government. He is expected in court on the 2nd of November, but denies the crime, which he said is politically motivated. 2 Yazidi women who escaped sexual enslavement by militants in Iraq have won the 2016 Europe Freedom of Thought Annual Human Rights Award that started in 1988. And the United Nations vowed to secure medical evacuations of hundreds of sick and wounded persons from Aleppo and wants aggrieved sides to drop their condition. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
And the sports update, where preliminary stage of the ongoing Nationwide Football League 1 Super 8 tournament has ended in Lagos. Also, a former heavyweight boxing champion has confirmed bout with a Nigerian boxer. Let's join Kenne Magbudike for details of this on our sports update.
The 2016 Nationwide League Super 8 tournament got underway at the Agege Township Stadium, Lagos, Tuesday, with Enyimba Feeders and Federal Road Safety Corps Football Club playing out a 1-0 draw in the opener, while Popular Football Club of Owerri defeated Bida Lions Football Club by 2-1.
Penalty steps out. Nationwide League, because that is the only way those boys will be competitive.
Some commands are living up to expectation at the ongoing 2016 Nigerian Air Force Games in Katsina, with Corporal Kwedu Tilda of the headquarters Abuja claiming gold medal in the women's 100 meters hurdles.
We're having a lot of records, which you'll see at the end of the day when we are during the closing ceremony, when it will be displayed.
Aircraftman Elder David of the Headquarters Mobility Command won gold medal in the men's 110 meters hurdles. Headquarters Training Command took the gold medal in men's 4x400 meters race, while the women's gold medal was won by Headquarters Logistics Command. Meanwhile, the golf event ended midweek with Group Captain David Solomon leading Tactical Air Command to victory as Headquarters Nigerian Air Force won gold medal in wrestling. Former heavy